When was the last time you bought something and actually owned it? Not rented it, not financed it, not subscribed to it, owned it. Think about that for a second. Because if you woke up tomorrow and every subscription attached to your life disappeared, how much would you actually be left with? Your music? Your movies? Your cloud storage? Your premium apps? Your streaming services? Your software? Your security cameras? Your fitness memberships? Your AI tools? Your digital life? Gone. Not because someone stole it. Not because your account was hacked. Because you stopped paying. And that realization made me start wondering if something bigger is happening. Because maybe that's not really the real story of the subscriptions. Maybe it's a story about ownership. Or more specifically, the slow disappearance of ownership. Because for most of modern history, the goal was simple. You bought things, you accumulated things, you owned things. Your grandparents bought records, bought tools, bought furniture, bought appliances, bought cars. Many people worked their entire lives to eventually own a home. Ownership created security. Ownership created permanence. Ownership created independence. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Today, we don't seem to buy things nearly as much. We pay for access. And at first, it seems harmless. Netflix was easier than buying DVDs. Spotify was easier than buying CDs. Cloud storage was easier than carrying around hard devices. Everything became more convenient. And convenience is powerful because convenience rarely feels expensive at first. It's $10, it's $15, maybe $20 until one subscription becomes five becomes 10 becomes 20. And suddenly, hundreds of dollars are leaving your account every month before you even bought groceries. But here's the part that caught my attention the most. Companies aren't really competing for products anymore. They're competing for permanent expenses. Think about that. A company used to hope you would buy something. Now they hope you will never stop paying. That's a completely different business model. And once businesses realized how powerful that recurring revenue was, it spread everywhere. Streaming services, software, gaming, news, fitness, dating apps, cloud storage, education, AI, security systems, premium memberships, everywhere. But then I started noticing something even stranger. The subscription mindset isn't staying online anymore. It's spreading into the physical world. Think about housing. Millions of people rent apartments. That's normal, but now many apartment communities have additional monthly fees layered on top of that. Technology fees, amenity fees, parking fees, package locker fees, pet fees, internet fees, and in some places, even fees tied to technology that allows you to access the property. You're paying subscriptions inside subscriptions. You're paying a reoccurring fee to access a place you're already paying a reoccurring fee to access. And once I noticed this, you can't stop seeing this. It's everywhere. Cars, right? A generation ago, it was a product. Today, it's becoming a platform. You have the payment, the insurance, the apps, the connected services, the software updates, roadside programs, premium features, Some automakers have exploring changes in recurring fees that already are built into the vehicle. The hardware isn't enough anymore. The goal is reoccurring revenue. And that's when I realized something. Maybe the shift isn't from ownership to renting. Maybe it's from transactions to relationships. Because companies don't want a single sale. They want a permanent place in your monthly budget. They don't want one interaction. They want an ongoing relationship. A relationship that never ends. And here's where it gets really interesting. There are only so many dollars available. There are only so many subscriptions people can maintain, which means companies are no longer competing for purchases. They're competing for your monthly margin. They're competing for what's left after every other company takes its share. And that creates a very different economy. An economy built around recurring obligations, not one-time transactions. Think about how many businesses wake up every morning hoping you don't cancel. Not hoping you buy, but hoping you stay. That's a massive shift. And maybe that's why so many people say they feel financially squeezed, even when their income has maybe increased. Because it's not just the amount of money leaving, it's the permanence. The payment never ends. The transaction is never complete. There is no finish line. They're maintaining access, maintaining memberships, maintaining subscriptions, maintaining accounts, maintaining digital lives. And maybe that's why I've always found something about YouTube that's interesting. On most social media platforms, you follow people. You follow a creator. You follow an account. But on YouTube, you subscribe. Now, maybe that's nothing. Maybe it's just a word. But I sometimes wonder how many people, especially older viewers, hear the word subscribe and immediately associate it with a bill. Because it almost is every part of our lives now. A subscription means a recurring payment. It means another monthly charge. Maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe it isn't. But it does show how normal subscriptions have become. We've become so used to barely noticing the language anymore. And that's why I think this is a signal shift. Not because subscriptions exist. They've existed for a long time, sure. The shift is that the subscriptions have become the default. The default for entertainment, the default for software, the default for services, increasingly the default for access itself. The biggest change isn't that everything costs money. Things have always cost money. The biggest change is that the transaction never ends. Our grandparents bought things. We maintain access to things. And if that's true, then maybe the most valuable thing in the future won't be what you own. It'll be what you still allowed to use. And maybe the strangest part of all is how quietly it happened. Nobody announced it. Nobody voted on it. Nobody declared the end of ownership. One monthly fee at a time. One convenience at a time. One subscription at a time. We slowly moved from a world built around ownership to a world built around access. And most people never noticed it happening. See you tomorrow, guys.